Hello everyone, welcome to episode 3 of AFOL Spotlight Live. I have the Ben Kahn right here with me tonight. Thanks for
Hello.
joining us, Ben. We're going to take a look at some of his mocks. We are going to take a look at some cool things we found online right here on AFOL Spotlight Live.
Let's go! Climb aboard this proverbial Winnebago. We're talking about the awesome fans of Lego. So build your mock and shift it into drive. It's time for AFOL Spotlight Live.
Thank you all for joining us back here. Welcome to Boone Builds. I am Boone Langston. I've got Ben Kahn here with me. It is AFOL Spotlight Live. This is a stream that is about AFOLs. It is for AFOLs. If you don't know what AFOL means, I am about to tell you. AFOL stands for Adult Fans of Lego. My hunch is that most of you know what this means if you're in the stream. But my goal is that we'll reach some people who don't yet know. So, adult fans of Lego, and if you don't identify as an adult, we will also say AFOL stands for the awesome fans of Lego. We wouldn't want to leave anyone out here. Ben, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing so well. Let's say hi to some of the folks in the chat. That T-Cat, Perry, Dave, Ben. Oh, it's you.
Yeah,
We've
that's
got
me.
Navy Dog, JJ. Is this
Hey,
the
JJ.
first time we've seen JJ in a live chat for AFOL Spotlight?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it may be. Let's see. Anyone else here? All right. If you are watching episode 3 of AFOL Spotlight Live and you're actually watching it live, please let us know in the live chat so that we can say hi to you independently. We just definitely want to thank you for joining us. We've got Ben here. Ben, you are known for building
Amusement parks
amusement park
or
rides,
rides.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're not going to show us any of those tonight. Is that correct?
I'm going to show you one. I'm going to show you my favorite.
Okay, you are going to show us your favorite.
Yeah.
So that's good. So Ben will show us just a little bit in just a few moments here. We got Cody Otley in the stream. Welcome, Cody. First, I just want to thank everyone again for being here. This is AFOL Spotlight Live. In the future, if you ever want to get to, and for some reason that's not, hopefully you can see all that. If you ever want to get to AFOL Spotlight Live and you don't know the link, youtube.com/boonbuilds/live should always take you to the most current live stream. I know last week we had a couple of challenges with the live stream. Everyone was in the right link. I was streaming to the wrong link, but that Boone Builds, youtube.com/boonbuilds/live should always take you to the correct stream. And if you're not subscribed to Boone Builds, I'd love to invite you to do that and click that bell icon so that you get notifications for our live streams in the future. Hello, Gwyneth. Hello, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
All right, Ben. It is time for AFOL Show and Tell.
All right.
This is the time when you get to show us some cool things that you got going on.
Sure, yeah. So first thing I want to show off is this. I built this 8-wide modular. Let's see, I'm going to move back a little bit. I built this a few years back, and it is, only 8 studs wide. It's called White Snake Coffee. A little hint as to why it's called that. And on the ground floor is the actual coffee shop. On the second floor is some seating area, and on the top floor is like a little studio apartment. And here I'm gonna show you each individual floor really quickly. Let's see if we can do this and actually have it be visible. So you can kind of see, and stuff is gonna fall out of the fountain there. But as you can see, there's kind of like a little counter there and a coffee maker and a place to there's like standing room next to the window there, and then on the second floor we have a little seating area. You can kind of see in there,
So this is seating for the coffee shop.
For the coffee shop.
Cool.
And because this is, of course, Lego and imaginary, there are no need for stairs. On each floor, let's see, this side. On each floor, there is a teleportation pad, and that's like right there. And so people teleport from floor to floor, so there's no need for stairs. And then the third floor is a kind of a little flat where we have a kitchen and a bed right here with a nice little quilt on it, and then a seating area over here, and underneath the bed, let's see here, underneath the loft bed is the dressing area and a toilet.
Nice.
Right there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that is actually a modular I made for a contest, a Facebook contest on, I think it was either it was a modular building, like a modular building group on Facebook, and I actually got second place, which was pretty cool. So I'm pretty proud of that. And
That's
then
awesome.
and then
what inspired
go ahead.
What inspired you to go 8 studs wide?
I think that actually may have been the contest.
Okay.
I think the contest was you have to build an 8 wide modular. Because normally I wouldn't build that skinny, but it was a nice challenge to try and get as much detail into such a tiny space. It was pretty cool. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome. I think what you did with that, what you were able to cram into, 8 studs wide, was incredibly creative. And there are places in the world where people are trying to do the most they can with very, very narrow, business spaces or living spaces, right? So
Absolutely.
I thought that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Real quick, I'll just say hi to Galagade. We've got Holly has joined us. Molly has joined us. Thank you very much for watching. Ben has just shown us an 8 wide modular. And were you moving on to something else?
Yeah. I was gonna move on to my second thing. So this actually I don't think very many people have seen. I've never brought it to a convention. I've never posted pictures of it online, but it was part of the reason for that is because it was meant for a collab, and still I think the collab may happen someday, but I figured it's time to show it because I kind of want to show it off. So this is a toaster that I have made.
Oh my goodness.
It is fairly large. It's actually life size. I would say it's essentially a 1-to-1 scale.
It's amazing.
And
it looks like a real toaster.
It's all tiled, and it is it's kind of it was kind of an epic build. So I'm fairly proud of it.
you built this for, it was supposed to be a collaboration.
Yes,
it didn't pan out.
Well, kinda. It was a collaboration that some friends and I were gonna work on, and it may still happen someday because I think a lot of us have invested quite a lot of money in parts for it, but we never actually did it. So I'm hoping that we'll do it at some point because of the investment. But yeah, for now this is built, and I figure I should show it off.
That's beautiful.
But thank you. Yeah. If anyone's wondering why the satellite dishes are here, it was the only piece that I could find. Here, I'll take this off really quickly. It was the only piece I could find that would fit. Oh, maybe I can't take it off. Anyway, it was the only piece I could find that would fit in the inside of this curve.
Okay.
So there's no Lego piece. There's no like curve piece, like official arch piece or anything that fits in that spot. But this dish is just the right curvature to fit there and kind of cover that up. So it makes it look kind of weird, but at the same time it works and covers the hole that I needed to cover. So
that is one of file that under the category of like things people wouldn't think of unless you point it out, right?
Sure,
Because
sure, yeah.
it's sort of this rounded. You got the red on the sides. It's this very kind of classic or retro style of toaster, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
my brain, the moment you showed me, my brain just accepted those as like, what would that have been back in the day? Like, what was that? What was that?
Oh, I
Like,
don't
like
know.
Bakelite was the name of that plastic that they used on the outside of all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you think of old radios and whatnot, it was very common to have just sort of like little subtle ornate kind of patterns and whatnot. And
True,
that's when you
true.
showed me that. That's what my brain thought, and I accepted it right off the bat. I'm glad that you gave us the insight, but you certainly didn't have to explain it from an apologetic standpoint. But
Sure,
but
sure.
but
Well,
I
I wasn't necessarily apologizing for it, but I just wanted to point it out because it is fairly interesting that Lego still hasn't come out with a arch piece that fits in that diameter or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and where would the like there's a new-ish like last 2 years I think it's a 4x4 curved tile, and it would have the same
Oh,
inside
yes.
diameter. Would it have the same inside diameter? So it's basically
Actually,
like we would need
yes.
a three
Think
by
it might.
three. So it's
Yeah,
like that's the one that they haven't made yet. Is like a
yeah.
3x3 macaroni tile.
Yeah, a 3x3 macaroni tile, and same goes for the arch piece. So there's like an arch that will fit, there's the one arch, the two arch, and then there's a four arch, but there's no three arch.
Right.
And yeah, it's kind of annoying. I wish that they did that. Lego, I think it was either last year, no, it was probably a couple years ago now, came out with a rainbow set, or it was a set that had a rainbow in it. It was just like a tiny little set. And I'm amazed that they even made that because they made the rainbow with arches and they left a hole in the rainbow because they didn't have a piece for it. And yet they still put this rainbow with a hole in it out as an official set. And I just thought that was kind of odd, but
I want to see if I can find that. What do you have any
oh
idea
goodness,
what the I bet I could find it over
I
here.
don't know.
Lego
I don't know.
Rainbow Set.
But yeah, it was fairly
Yeah, I
fairly
see it.
small.
I see it. Look at here.
Did you find it?
It's like it's part of a little. All right, everybody. This is this is the cool part of the future that we live in. I have to accept the cookies. Um, but yeah, check this out. So it's like there's a
Yeah,
little
there it is. Yep,
rainbow,
that's the one.
but for sure it has no like this empty hole.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up. I feel like
yeah, it's
we've
like why would you like make like a half like an incomplete rainbow? That just don't make it if you can't finish it off. I mean,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, that's funny. Well,
Anyway.
I think if I had to choose between getting that, 1x4x3 arch brick or the 3x3 macaroni tile, I think I'd take the macaroni tile because
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely take the macaroni tile over the arch. Although the arch is honestly the arch is probably a close second because I mean I enjoy making buildings, and so having that arch to like kind of finish off a building and yeah, I don't know. Both of them I think would be really amazing additions if they ever made those pieces.
Yeah. So if you've just joined us, this is Ben Kahn. Ben Kahn wanted to share with us the website brickscascade.com. That is our
Yes.
local Lego fan convention. And Ben, tell us a little bit about your connection to Bricks Cascade.
So Bricks Cascade is like you said, our local convention, and I went to Bricks Cascade as a public attendee back in 2014, I want to say, and that's actually kind of where I met my first batch of adult fans of Lego, and it was the very next year that, or the very next month after Bricks Cascade, that I went to the local Lug or Lego user group meeting, Port Lug, and I met more people, and I've been I've been hanging out and going to meetings ever since. And I went to my first convention as an adult fan, like a full attendee, in 2015, I think it was. And that year I went to 2 conventions. I went to Bricks Cascade, and then I went to Bricks by the Bay as well. And then it just went downhill or uphill, depending upon how you look at it, from there. And I think in both 2017, I went to 3 conventions. And then both 2018 and 2019, I went to 4 conventions, or maybe it was 5 even. But yeah, I go to Bricks LA often. I go to Bricks Cascade, obviously, Brick Kahn, and Brick Kahn. So I guess it was 4. But yeah, and continue to do so. It's a lot of fun. I love this community. It's a great one.
Yeah. So I gotta tell everyone, Ben Kahn, well, let's rewind a little bit, because a lot of my story sort of mirrors or slightly trails Ben's story, in that I think it was 2014 that I went to my first Bricks Cascade, but I went for a few years as a public attendee. And I don't remember, I think I remember meeting Davey and Andy at my very first, the very first Bricks Cascade that I attended as a public attendee. And I think they were the ones that told me about the lug and about lug meetings.
Interesting. Okay.
And so I went to a lug meeting, and you were like one of 2 people that connected with me at my very first lug meeting. And I just remember you being so nice, and I brought a thing, and you thought it was cool, and that was like...
Well, yeah, but didn't you bring your Batwing to your first lug meeting?
Yeah.
Which is like one of the most amazing builds ever. So yeah, you can't blame me if you have it around. I would love it if you could show it, but I don't want to put you on the spot.
I had built it. I had built it that week to get ready for the lug meeting, because it was like what was it? It was a superheroes challenge or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I didn't have any Lego. Like, I didn't have any bricks to, like... I had a little bit. I had just a little bit, and I had some sets from when I was a kid. But I was like, I need something... I want to do something cool. And so I had bought Benny's spaceship, because I thought it was so rad. And I was like, it would be really cool if I turned this into a Batwing. And I'm like, I need, like, the blue and gray Batman figure. And there was a Lego Juniors set on the shelf at the time that I just ran to Target and got this Lego Juniors set, and I tore apart my Benny's spaceship, and I mixed up the pieces that week. I think I probably started 4 days before the lug meeting, and then I brought it to the lug meeting, and I had so much fun. Y'all, AFOL Spotlight, this is going to be a repeating theme of this show. Go to your local convention, connect to a lug if you've got one in the area. Yes. I understand some people may watch this that have nothing near them, and if that's the case, then find some groups to connect with online, because this has just been... I've had the ride of my life, and Ben was one of the first people who, like, connected with me at a lug meeting and made me feel welcome, and made me feel like I was, worthy to be in the club, so to speak. So thank you, Ben. Now, just, a few years later, here we are, and so much has happened, and it's unreal.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's been longer than a few years. Like, I honestly feel like I've known you for way longer than that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really great.
Well, Ben, why don't you show... You have one more...
Yeah. I'll show you my one ride that I wanted to display. I'm gonna have to move my laptop for this one, but here, let's see. kind of, sort of like that, maybe. There we go. So this is my my steampunk octopus ride or steampunk spider, depending upon who you talk to or what you want to call it. But here it is running.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites that I've made. It took a lot of engineering and looking at the actual, like an actual ride that works like this, and figuring out how it moves and how everything connects. But I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I think this is probably about at least a year and a half, if not 2 years old now. But I always, whenever I put up my amusement park, this one is always there because it's my favorite, and it's rock solid too. I mean, when I first made it, it had some pretty serious issues, structural issues, and it wouldn't last more than like an hour running. But now I can leave it running for 8+ hours, 3 days in a row, and it just keeps on chugging, which is great.
It's so awesome, man. And you tell us a little bit about you. You just kind of tinkered until you figured out how to make all that work, right? Is that?
Yeah, pretty much. I kept just kind of putting things together, and like I said, I looked at how the actual ride works, and just kind of extrapolated from that information and used Lego pieces that I know would work for that part of the mechanism, and yeah, just kind of made it work. It's kind of hard to explain my creative process, but yeah.
Yeah, I've had some experience recently where, people will ask questions, particularly people who don't know, people who are not in the fandom, people who are not in the hobby. When they ask you questions about like creative process and stuff, it's really difficult to explain to someone who hasn't had just at least a little bit of experience kind of like diving into like figuring those things out, because you sort of realize how difficult it can be to explain that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, totally.
I have some appreciation for that. So
yeah.
I'm not going to make it I don't intend to make it a regular practice to show my stuff on this feed, but
sure.
at the behest of a guest, I have to show the Batwing.
Yes.
And I just
So
launched
awesome.
I just launched one of the yellow darts over to the other side of my studio as I was taking it out of the box. But
Nice.
anyway, it's very dusty.
Oh yeah.
I've
So
been
I just
toting it around.
I wanted to comment on some of the chat here. Yes, there is lots of ABS dust. So much ABS dust. And someone also mentioned my Pickle Rick. That I kind of had in the background semi on purpose. Yeah, I made him for Rose City Comic Con one year, and yeah, another one of my favorites.
Yeah. Why did Bonfire say, "Oh, come on"? What's he talking about?
I do not know.
I like. Here, we'll just spend a few more moments in the chat.
Yeah.
Holly said I lurked online for a long time before they managed to drag me out of my Lego closet. You can enrich any sentence by adding the word lurk. It's a great verb. The movement is both smooth and accurate, says Dave Morgan. I agree. The first time I saw that thing, was at Bricks Cascade, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very
I just,
likely.
when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh. And it's almost like it's one of those functions that when you really think about it is fairly simple, but what it's doing is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like once you get down to the fact that like there's this is moving, they're moving two different directions, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. The outer column. Here, I'll show you.
No, it's fine. And in no way did I suggest that it was simple to figure out or simple to build.
No, totally. Yeah. No, I'm happy to show you. So so the outer column moves one direction. So this outer column, the large piece of the column moves one direction, and then there's an axle in the center that moves the opposite direction.
Yeah.
And how that's working is, can actually show you. It's fairly simple to show you. So you have the center axle, which is attached directly to the motor.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the base right here,
Right.
which there's a gear underneath this section right here that's rotating these tires. And these tires rotate the outer column in the opposite direction of what this center axle is going.
Yeah.
And so that's how you get the two directions going at the same time.
Yeah. I think my point is that, like, at its simplest, one motor just has to move one thing one direction, and the other motor just has to move another thing another direction. But when you put them together, and with the linkages that you created, it just creates such a wonderful movement, you know.
It's a very mesmerizing movement. When I'm at shows with that ride and talking to people about it, if there's no one to talk to, I just tend to stare at that ride. I kind of get mesmerized by it and just kind of stand there staring off into space.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good one for sure.
So Bonfire Life's come on in the live chat was because he wants you to show more of your stuff. Do you have one more thing you could show us?
Yeah, sure. I'm also working on, see if I can reach it without pulling my computer down. I recently found a bunch of my old model trains. So I collect I used to collect N scale tiny model trains. So this isn't made out of Lego. This is the actual N scale passenger car. And I was like, I want to make this out of Lego. So that's what I did. So here's a somewhat fairly accurate scale model in Lego train scale. It's 8 wide and I believe 56 studs long. So here's my Lego rendition of that.
Awesome.
Of that train car, and I eventually want to make more of that series. I have a whole bunch here that I want to make. Like here's another one that's purple and tan. That would be a fairly easy, well, quote unquote easy, to make out of Lego. Yeah, so that's been my inspiration recently, as I've been working on these train cars, and I have another one that's an old Lehigh Valley steam engine pulling 6 passenger cars, and those I'm not going to show because I actually want those to be a surprise, and hopefully they'll be on either your channel or Beyond the Brick at some point.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Cool.
Fun stuff.
Will Nicholson says, "Hey Will, how you doing?" Will says, "Where's the hot dog cart, Ben?"
The hot dog cart is in my garage right now because it's I just got done with a train show last weekend, and everything is packed up and in my garage. I haven't even put it away yet. It's literally sitting next to my car because I got it out of my trunk and put it next to my car, and that's where it's been sitting for the last 4 days.
Yeah.
But I was able to get that right out for everyone. So
cool.
Yeah.
Love it. And Bob Day, how you doing, Bob? Bob says, how many Bob figs are on that sweet ride? I don't know if he's talking about the train or the the spider.
Either way, there are no Bob figs on either thing at the moment. All of the Bob figs are on my roller coaster. By the way, if anyone's wondering, Bob Day has created custom figures of himself. He likes collecting shirts that say some Bob phrase, and he's created sig figs for himself, essentially calling cards, and so yeah, I think I have like 8 of them now or something like that.
I can see one in a box, but it's too far away for me to reach.
Oh yeah.
But anyway. Awesome.
So Anyway.
Hey, JT Hornsby, one of the longest followers of my YouTube channel. He's been through, I think, I don't know, JT, how many times have I changed the name of my YouTube channel since you've been watching? Thank you so much for watching. Will says, how can you not have any Bob figs? Oh, I think he just meant in those things. Who's Bob?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I have a lot of Bob figs, just not not there or
And then
not here.
Ladies Who Lego said, who's Bob? That old guy from the Kahn? I think,
Yes.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, that guy.
All right, save your questions. We've got more good questions here. Save your questions. We will have a Q&A in just a little bit. But we're going to move on to the next segment, and I'm excited about it because I made a cool new segment intro. I hope you like it. Here we go. Cool stuff we found online.
Cool stuff we found online.
All right. So now we're gonna take a look at some of the things that Ben found, and actually he did all the work this week. He found some really cool looking stuff. Ben, can you see the screen that I'm showing you here?
I can.
With Oscar Cederwall's Flickr page.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show it to everyone else as well. So we're starting off with Oscar. Do you know Oscar, Ben?
No, I don't. I'd love to meet him at some point, but no, I just I don't know how I found his page online, but probably, yeah, I found him online at some point, and yeah, I just love his stuff.
So this was, I think, the specific one you sent me.
Yeah, it was either any of those three. The main, honestly, the main thing I love about this build, other than the detail in such a small scale, is the circular shape that he got for that landing pad. Coming from my fascination with Lego rides, I'm always in search for the best way to make a circular shape. And he just did an amazing job doing just that with this landing pad. Yeah, it's just really neat. It's a really cool technique.
So he's got inverted slopes in there, right? Is that one?
Yeah, I
by
think
two
so.
by three inverted slopes?
I think in the very center there is a wheel, and then yeah, the slopes are inverted slopes, I believe, and on the outside is that very large Technic gear. But yeah, just really well done. Very slick.
One of the things that caught my eye on this guy's page, oh my gosh, all of these little things are so incredible. This inspires me to just, build a little bit every day. And if I could just build, just task myself to building a little something every day. Sometimes it would be junk, but sometimes it would be worth photoing and people would enjoy it. But this really caught my eye, and the way he used these like helicopter cockpits on their side, when I first looked at it, I forgot they were helicopter cockpits, you know what I mean? And I think
totally, yeah.
Maybe the one, this is cool. Is this a 360 here?
I was trying to figure out what those pieces on the back are, the black pieces. Do you know what those are?
Let's see. They are big. They're the same things you used on the top corners of the toaster, but I think they're larger. Are they larger?
Well, see, oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
So
no, you're totally right.
There's studs up and studs down. And so it's like what is that?
Oh goodness,
is it an 8x8 or a 6x6 sort of like macaroni curved brick?
Yeah, essentially.
It's got a lot of dimension to it.
Yeah.
I love the lights, but then I think it was one of these angles, like that right there. I think that looks so cool, and sort of paired up with this, it's like my brain completely forgets that these are, helicopter canopies on their side, and it looks really cool to me. It reminds me of, maybe something from Lost in Space or something like that. But
yeah.
This is another thing I enjoy when builders, come through at the end of the year and sort of give a retrospective on their. So that is.
So regarding the retrospective, I both love and hate that. I love that because I love seeing what people make throughout the year. I hate that because I'm like, wow, I totally was slacking this whole year because I made all of like one thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I I get that too. But
But anyway, yes, it is quite fun to see that.
I at least find it inspirational.
Yes,
So
for
you can
sure.
check out Oscar Cederwall Uger. Looks like O capital O or O0GER on Flickr. And if you are watching in the replay, you can find the link in the description below. Next up, I've got here Miro.
Hmm.
And what
Yeah.
was your? How did you discover Miro?
So Miro, I actually followed. I have met Miro. I met him at Bricks LA a couple of times, and but I actually followed him before I met him in person. I just found everything he's made is just incredible. Um, and when I got to meet him for the first time, I kind of did the whole fanboy thing. But the one specifically I wanted to show off is that the one you just scrolled past, the Pixar logo. Um, I just found that really fun. I'm a big fan of Pixar, and seeing that logo and those letters done so well, and that mini version of Luxo Jr., the lamp, uh, was just so great and just made me happy. And the micro version of Wally is very well done. Um, yeah, just again, just an amazing builder.
I think this is a really wonderful scale for Wally. I've seen some very tiny Wallies,
Hmm.
and of course we've all seen, the Wallies that are like similar to the size of the kit or larger. But this one, man, that's just a really nice scale to capture some awesome detail, but you still sort of are wowed by how much detail it is for how small it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I think one of the things I loved, well, I love Disney, so a lot of this stuff at the top caught my eye.
Hmm.
But I'm blown away that he's got 3 versions of Baby Yoda already.
Yep, yep.
And it's like makes you wonder, was he like, this one's cute but not good enough? Because when I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so darling. But then it's like this one, the most recent one is so accurate, just sort of like
there's so much detail there.
it's awesome. All right, next up we have a fellow Portlander. This
Yeah.
is this is Brick Root, and this was the photo you sent me. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what caught your eye here, Ben?
Yeah, so Brickroot's use of pieces in this build is just incredible. His Micropolis builds are second to none. I mean, I haven't seen many other people build Micropolis buildings like he does, and they're so accurate and so um, uh, I think they're kind of his vision of like the future and how things should be built and like how buildings should be better for the environment, and a lot of them are very much focused on being uh, being better for our world than what we are currently building. And yeah, he's just an amazing builder, and his parts usage is amazing. Um, so yeah, his builds always inspire me. I dabbled in Micropolis for a while, and maybe someday I'll get back into it. But yeah, just Micropolis in general is a fun scale to build in.
Go check out Brick Root on Instagram. It's brick_root. I think probably one of my favorite builds that he's ever done is that whale spaceship. Is just
Oh yeah.
incredible. And the one that he had before that, I apologize, I don't know the names, but there was a sort of a lime green. He had a big spaceship that I think was from September from a few years ago, and it was this big lime green spaceship. And his attention to detail and his parts usage to get those really interesting details are are wonderful, top notch.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
This is not a podcast, or it's not a live stream designed to be about Lego news, but since Brickroot's most recent photo here on his Instagram is dots, I gotta ask you, what do you think about the dots, Ben?
Um, I I'm actually excited. I have a 7-year-old daughter, so I may be a little biased just because I think she's gonna love them, and so therefore I'm gonna like them because I get to hand them off to her. But in terms of the parts that come with it, I'm excited for the parts. I personally probably will not use them for their intended usage, if there is such a thing for Lego.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's a great. I'm glad Lego is trying to innovate. I'm glad they're trying to get new things out that may not be your standard City Ninjago creator stuff. So yeah, I want to see I want to see it succeed, and yeah, I'll probably buy at least a few of them just to get some of the cool parts.
Yeah, I think just looking at this, it's hard to know what sort of what will be the exhaustive, representation of prints across this line. But just from what I see here, I love the heart with the rainbow stripes on it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the music note. Anytime I see a music note printed on a Lego piece, it really makes me happy. The one I'm most excited about, maybe for as far as like using in mocks and finding creative uses for, at least that I can see in this photograph, is that diamond with it's
Mm-hmm.
got sort of a light blue or teal and then like a green that outlines the diamond. And I feel like if you had a lot of those, and maybe I don't know, maybe in these dots bags you only get one of each print, or who knows. But I think if you had a bunch of those, you could do some really creative decorating on, certain types of mocks.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and even just symbolizing things in scenarios within your builds. The lightning bolt that I see. There's sort of half a lightning bolt up at the top, and that certainly could represent on a machine like a big button that somebody presses for power. That's
Mm-hmm.
a silly off the top of my head idea, but
No, yeah, no, that makes sense.
we'll take a look at one Lego Ideas project. Ben found us this Lego Ideas project. They are getting dangerously close to support with 9,322 supporters, but also a little dangerously close to the end of their window for voting. So head on over if you're interested in this bowling alley. I think it's really special. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I love bowling in real life. It's actually one of my favorite kind of things to do other than building with Lego. So I've actually often thought about building a bowling alley, but haven't gotten around to it. But this person did an amazing job, kind of getting the general bowling alley aesthetic, um, and the pins that they made are quite good. Um, and yeah, it's just a fun build and would go well in any sort of city scene, which I'm of course a fan of. So yeah, it just looks like a really nice thing, and hopefully it'll hit 10,000, so Lego will at least consider it.
Yeah, man, this is beautiful. They've got some fun characters there. They've used.
Those those bowling shirts are great. I would love the bowling shirts.
Are these do you think are these official, or are
I don't
these
know
custom that he's
if they are official. I need to get my hands on them because they're pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'm going to tell you a couple of my absolute favorite things. The Let me see if I can kind of emphasize it here. The way they've built the bee on that sign
Mm-hmm.
with the little stars on the inside of the bee. It just like, screams this throwback retro sort of stylistic, text. It makes me think of old Las Vegas. It makes me think of old, Merv Griffin game show kind of things. I think it's just a spot on icon that pulls you into, the era that is, essentially being depicted by this bowling alley.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, for sure.
and then another thing is just how striking the interior with these colors are, and they've used such a good sort of combination of like mid-tones, earth tones, and then these pops of color with these bright kind of teal. Um, I think the ball returns and the seats and the awning over the restaurant part of the bowling alley there. And there's even a sausage back there cooking, about
So
ready
there
to
is.
come out of the and the gumball machine. Man, this is brilliant. All right,
Yeah,
everybody. This
there's
is
a lot of good stuff in there.
Retro Bowling Alley from Astronaut Avila, and
Apparently, they've had another build get to 10K before.
yeah, that's interesting. I wish I could. Let's see. Can we click on that?
You might be able to. I don't know.
Oh,
You gotta log in, of course.
yeah, not on this window. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Is there anything else? We looked at the rainbow, and here's just a quick look at Bricks Cascade. This is the website
Yep.
that Ben was interested in sharing with us. I'm gonna minimize this just a little bit so we
Yes.
can see
Everyone in the
logo.
Portland area or not should come to Bricks Cascade.
Listen, I know a ton of amazing people that are coming to Bricks Cascade this year. It is our local con here in the Portland, Oregon area, and man, we've got people from like a bunch of those Star Wars guys from Utah are coming. We've got
Nice.
some of the folks that we've been able to draw from Canada and Washington and Idaho and California in the past. A number of Lego Masters contestants are my new friends, and they're going to join me here for the convention. It's going to be awesome. Ben's going to be there, so you
I'm
know
gonna be
you want
there.
to be there. I'm going to be there, so you might want to plug your ears. But other than that, it's going to be a wonderful convention. And now I would say it is time for AFOL Q&A. This is a segment of the show where you can ask Ben anything. Ask Ben anything. I don't know.
Yes,
It's
ask
not,
me.
It's not really ask Ben anything. You might want to keep it. You might want to keep it at least PG-13. But let's see. What questions do you have in the chat? I know there was one up here. I think it was Holly or maybe Molly asked, do you have any new theme park attractions coming?
No. Well, yes, but I haven't even started on them.
Okay.
I have a lot of parts for a new roller coaster, but yeah, I haven't even started designing it yet. So maybe in the next year or so there may be a new ride, but yeah, nothing right now.
Okay. JT Hornsby is a big fan of Mr. Potato Heads. He's a fan of Lego, but he's also a fan of Mr. Potato Head. So I don't know if he's asking you or if he's asking me. He says, this is off topic, but how many potato heads do you have? Do you have an answer for that, Ben?
I do have an answer, and the answer is I have 0 potato heads.
All right, let's see. How many potato heads do I have?
I was gonna say I know you at least have like 1 or 2, don't you?
Yeah, well, I think I have at least 3, and I may have more than 3 because I've got Indiana Jones. What's his creative potato name? I've got I've got Darth
is it like
Vader.
Idaho Jones or something?
It might be Idaho Jones. And I've got a Mr. Potato Head that looks as close as I could get one that looks to the Toy Story movie. Those might be my only Mr. Potato Heads. I've probably had more and less over the years. Let's see what else. Thanks, JT, for the question. Let's see what else we got here. Ben, any plans to make a carnival-style funhouse?
Actually, my wife really wants me to make a carnival-style funhouse. I have been thinking about it for a long time, and I'm still not quite sure how to execute it, but it is something I do want to do. So it's on my list. I'm just not sure exactly when.
Okay. Good. How about Bonfire Life says, how is the revamp or teardown of the double carousel?
So, man, the double carousel. So for those that don't know, I for a while I took two of the official most recent carousel sets and mashed them together essentially, and I made a double high carousel, or at least I attempted to. And I got it all together, and it looked amazing. I kind of wish I had a picture of it, but I don't. It had these brilliant spiral staircases going up to the second floor, and it just looked amazing. But anyway, but even though it looked great, it didn't actually work. I would say for the about year and a half that I had it together, maybe about a year that I had it together, I would say that it actually successfully ran for about maybe 2 hours. And that's actually putting it out and trying to run it for probably about maybe 10 days in total, like actually like at shows, at the various shows that I do and whatnot. Out of those 10 days that I attempted to show it off and run it, it probably ran for about 2 hours. So it was unfortunately fairly unsuccessful in terms of functionality. And at a certain point, I think it was at the end of 2019, the last time I showed it off was probably during the summer of 2019. I decided to just call it, and I literally just dropped it in the bucket after a show and just let it, like, I'm done with it.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
I still have the stairs because I'm hoping to maybe reuse the stairs at some point somewhere. But yeah, the carousel is done, and I've since rebuilt it back to a single story carousel. So I still have a carousel in my Funland, but the double one just didn't pan out, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. It was awesome. It was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Bonfire. Did you have a maybe?
Oh yeah, well I was just gonna say I may at some point retry to build it again, but yeah, who knows?
All right. Well, it was beautiful. Hey everyone, I just want to thank the last few people. If I forgot to mention your name in the live chat, we're still keeping this a pretty intimate affair, and I'm trying to hit everyone's names. We got Jake Sadovich, our wonderful friend from episode 1. We've got let's see who else. I thought I saw one other person in there, and maybe Corey Kinnick. Thanks for joining us. Will Nicholson said bowling alley mock, and Boone describes it as striking. Where's the rim shot? So
right.
We'll leave you with that. Just really quickly before I thank Ben for everything he's done this evening, at boonebuilds.com, if you would like to be considered for a future episode of AFOL Spotlight Live, or if you would like to nominate someone, an amazing builder, for AFOL Spotlight Live, there is at boonebuilds.com this Spotlight suggestions right here, and that takes you to a page where you can submit submit my own creations, nominate another AFOL, be considered as a guest. So you can go there, boonebuilds.com, and check that out. We've already had some future guests lined up from people who have submitted through that form. So thank you very much for that. Thanks to everyone who subscribes. Ben, thank you so much for your time this evening. I wish we had another hour. I want to be respectful to your time, and my family's going to be home any moment, and we're going to be together. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Everybody, check out Ben Kahn's stuff at the next time you see him at a convention.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Lots of fun.
Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next time on AFOL Spotlight Live.
Let's go! Climb